The pizza's here!
Wait, did you get the vegetarian option?
No.
Wait, what?
Of course I did. I got it right here.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing on the balloons?
Don't worry, I got it.
Does that look great?
Look like you got it.
That looks great to me. Oh,
Sorry.
wow, this is so nice. The balloons are cool.
You did really well. It's looking good, guys.
Did anybody say karaoke?
This is insane.
Much better. Captain's log. I've successfully entered the Omega Belt. Beginning preparations to land on planet Z2361. Scanning for signs of life. Appears to be a post-inhabited planet. Engaging autopilot.
Maria! Virgin Maria! Virgin Maria!
Are you with us?
Wait, sorry, what?
What's your answer? What superpower would you want?
Superpower.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, wow.
No idea, because I'm quite perfect.
I already have all the superpowers that I want.
Super speed.
Jumping really high. I have to go with like the ability to fly.
Blow up to like 3 times the size of myself and just like have super strength.
To not use the bathroom.
Invisibility.
Invisibility.
To teleport anywhere.
To teleport.
Teleport.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Hydrokinesis. And controlling things with water.
Seeing underwater, but like in murky water though.
To know what colors taste like. To stop time would be quite cool.
Manipulate time.
Time travel.
Pause time so I don't have to be late to school anymore.
I'd have like the ability to just like make stuff. Want a car? Right there.
Summoning food and a hamburger or sushi. Just
If you could have like X-ray vision, that would be kind of funny. To be able to speak any language in the entire world.
The ability to control minds. Yeah.
I would love to hear what people think.
the ability to see through lies.
Shape-shifting.
What would you turn into?
A dinosaur. Roar.
I think telekinesis, like moving things with your mind, would be really cool, or flying, because I think when I was 7, my birthday wish was always to fly. So that would be fun.
Growing up, I wanted the power to be invisible. And maybe one day I'll get that power. I'm still waiting. But in all seriousness, God does give us power. It's not magic or anything like that. I mean, the Bible's full of examples of this. Ephesians 3:20 says, God can do far more than we can ask or imagine. He does all this by his power that's working in us and through us. So how does God work in us? Well, he does this through the Holy Spirit. When Jesus was having his last meal with the disciples before his death, he said to them, "The Father will send the friend in my name to help you." That friend is the Holy Spirit, who will tell you and remind you of everything I've said. And then Jesus goes on to say, "I will give you peace. So do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." So the Holy Spirit is here to help us. It's our guide, our comforter, and our friend. The Holy Spirit gives us wisdom and also peace. When people say that God is with us or Jesus is in us, we're talking about the Holy Spirit that's within us. The Holy Spirit isn't some vague force, but a person. In a way, it's a bit like the wind. You can't see the wind, but you can feel it and see the impact of the wind when it blows. Whilst we can't see the Holy Spirit, we can feel the presence and see the impact of the Spirit in our lives. There was a sprinter who competed in the 1992 Olympics. In the middle of the 400-meter race, he tore his hamstring and fell down in pain. It looked like it was over, but he got up and started to limp towards the finish line. And out of nowhere, a man burst through the security lines, ran onto the track, and put his arm around him. That man was his father. The sprinter was Derek Redmond. Together, they crossed the finish line to a standing ovation of 65,000 people.
Who do you turn to for help?
Nobody.
Google if it's maybe something more embarrassing, I guess.
My therapist.
Probably my dog.
My girlfriend.
I feel like it should be God.
Turn to God a lot.
I'm very self-contained in that sense. I don't turn to anyone for help.
Try and be self-sufficient, but that doesn't always work.
I normally turn to myself or some of my mates.
Yeah, I would also say my best friend.
I turn to my parents quite a bit.
My brother.
Sometimes my sister, when she's not being annoying.
My dad, I have a good relationship with him.
Who do I turn to? Probably my mom. My mom's like my hero, you know. Even though like she'd be getting mad at me sometimes, telling me to go to my room, I still love her. She's still always there for me.
At the end of the day, when it's really bad, God.
Can I say Jesus?
You can say Jesus.
Because it is Jesus and like the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying?
God will never leave you to face a challenge alone. He is with you through the Holy Spirit. And you can depend on the Holy Spirit in your weakest moments and in your hardest times. The Holy Spirit also brings creativity into your work, studies, and passions, not only in music, art, and design, but in all aspects of life. And the Holy Spirit is not a new idea. The Holy Spirit has been present since the very beginning. The Holy Spirit was present at the creation of the universe. When God created the first man and woman made in His image, it was the Spirit of God that breathed life into them. In the Old Testament, we see the Holy Spirit helping certain individuals at specific times for special tasks. For example, the Holy Spirit gave Samson supernatural strength to protect his nation. The Holy Spirit equipped Deborah with the wisdom to lead. In Exodus 35, God's Spirit filled Bezalel to be a great artist and create many works. And God gave Isaiah the gift of prophecy to speak His words to the people. In the Old Testament, the prophet Joel spoke of a day when the Spirit would be poured out on everyone, so that all could experience the love and power of God, regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, or background. Then, with the coming of Jesus, there was an increase in the activity of the Spirit. Even at the time of His birth, Mary, His mother, and her cousin Elizabeth, and the baby she was carrying were all filled with the Holy Spirit. Before He died, Jesus had told the disciples that the Father would send the Spirit, the friend, to help them. He told them, "It is best for you that I go away, because if I don't, the Holy Spirit won't come." After His resurrection, Jesus told His disciples to wait for the gift my Father promised, which you have heard me speak about. In a few days, you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit. So they waited. And a few days later, when a number of Jesus' disciples were gathered together, they found out what Jesus meant. The Bible describes what happened. Suddenly, a sound came from heaven. It was like a strong wind blowing. It filled the whole house where they were sitting. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit. They began speaking in languages they had not known before. Something amazing and new was happening. People from all around that had gathered for a holy festival were amazed to hear the locals speaking in their own languages. They began asking themselves, what's happening? Peter, one of Jesus' most trusted disciples, got up and explained that what was happening was supernatural. He told them this was the work of the Holy Spirit. The gift of the Holy Spirit, who once came upon particular people, at particular times for particular purposes is now for everyone. The Holy Spirit lives in our hearts and helps us and empowers us to understand and live out Jesus' teachings and how to pray and talk to God. The gift of the Holy Spirit is available to us all.
There's beauty in everything. And I definitely think there's beauty in fashion.
I think that it gives us a glimpse of a person's personality. There's something incredible about being able to take something simple and standard and create a unique expression. Every now and then you'll find me in something random and bold.
But I have not always been a confident person. Growing up,
I spent so much time under a dark cloud. When I was 8 years old, my dad took my mom's life and then took his own.
The one person who's supposed to protect me chose to actively leave.
I became very insecure, very timid, very shy, and just afraid to be noticed.
I blamed myself.
You'll never amount to anything. Who could love you? Who could value you? And I think a really big one is that you're worthless and just simply not enough. One day, one of the girls in my class invited me to come with her to church.
when I stepped in, there was something different about that room. I saw kids with their hands raised in worship. They were joyful, they were having fun, and they were at peace.
The first thing I felt, it was security and safety. It was this giant hug that I had been lacking for so many years.
After that day, I experienced that same feeling over and over again.
But then at one point it clicked that this is what that is. This is who that is. This is the Holy Spirit. After meeting the Holy Spirit, my confidence changed. I began to realize that God really sees me as his daughter. He sees me as valuable. He sees me as precious. And he sees me as enough. Since then, my desperation and desire to pursue music, it honestly broke open like a dam.
Through songwriting and worship specifically, the Lord continues to build my confidence, not in myself, but in him. My home life now, compared to what it was as a child, is day and night, and it's incredible.
I'm still blown away by what God has done in my life and how far I've come. And I pray that I never get used to it.
If we accept Jesus into our hearts, the Holy Spirit transforms us. The Spirit does this by filling our hearts with love, joy, and peace. The Holy Spirit gives us the desire, power, and strength to break free from our destructive habits and negative emotions, like fear, insecurities, addictions, guilt, and our shame. The Holy Spirit helps us when we're depressed or in despair by filling our hearts with hope and freedom. Sometimes we can break free in certain areas, and in others, it may take a little longer for us to work through some things until we're fully free. But for sure, the more we welcome the Holy Spirit into our hearts, the more we start to see positive change and growth. In the book of Galatians, in the New Testament, it says that the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the character traits of God that the Spirit builds in us. It's like the more you spend time with someone, the more you start to look like them. You might notice this with family members that look alike, but More weirdly, have you ever noticed that pets start to look like their owners? Kind of like me and my cat Violet. But ultimately, we want to look more and more like Jesus. And the more we spend time with Jesus, the more these characteristics start to show up in us.
Out of all of these attributes, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, what do you think the world needs more of?
Love.
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 Gentleness.
Gentleness.
Maybe kindness. Kindness.
Oh, well, kindness and patience.
Patience.
Why do you think that?
Because a lot of people get like really rude fast.
Of these 9 things, what do you think the world needs more of?
Probably self-control. I feel like too many people now just say what they think, and it can be hurtful, because in the Bible it says, speak truth in love.
I think you can always use more love.
I think all of these probably stem from love, but in terms of like a tangible thing the world needs right now, probably peace.
I think peace, because with peace, there's less judgment for others. Love conquers all.
Love. Because there's so much hatred and like self-deprecation.
Joy, just because you never know how much it can brighten up someone's day.
3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
Can you imagine a world full of love and kindness?
Ooh, I would love that to happen.
That would be nice.
That would.
Yeah, because when I think about ways to show kindness and encourage others, I think about St. Paul's words in the New Testament. He says, the Holy Spirit is given to each and every one of us in a special way, that is for the good of all. So, in other words, the Holy Spirit works through us, empowering us to love and serve others. Now, through what the Bible calls spiritual gifts. They're not like the gifts that we receive on our birthday that we don't really love and throw to the back of the cupboard, because that is where Isaac's went. But they're the ones that we really want and are meant to benefit us and those around us.
Yeah, like wisdom. For me, wisdom is this knowledge from God, which helps me get direction for my life. And I know for me, it can also help others when they're feeling lost.
Or even the gift of faith, which is an extraordinary trust that God will come through even when things aren't clear.
He can also give us the gift and power to heal through prayer in Jesus' name.
And there's prophecy and words of knowledge or insight, which can provide comfort and clarity and even encouragement to you and others. Like I've heard it once said that it's like a radio, because God's always speaking, but you just need to tune in and listen to what he's saying. Get it? Tune in, listen. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. And then there's the gift of tongues, which is a language that we've been given to express our love to God. And it goes beyond the limits of human language. And when there are situations where we just don't know what to pray, the gift can help us then.
Yeah, in Romans 12 it says, if your gift is serving, then serve. If it is encouraging others, then encourage them. If it is giving to others, then give freely. There are many gifts and they're given to different people, but it all comes from God.
Wait, actually, hear me out, guys. It's almost like the human body, right?
Okay.
Right, there's many parts that have like unique roles and purposes, and they all work together. And it's just like these spiritual gifts we're talking about. Each gift shows a different part of God's living character.
John, you'd be the bicep, if you're
Hey, my name's Des, and you may be wondering why I sound a little bit different. And that's because I'm from Scotland, and I love Scotland. 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 Whoa, lads. That may be a wee bit too much. That's much better. That's a bit more real. When people look at me, they probably think I'm some kind of drug dealer or bouncer. And to be fair, I used to be. This is the deal. Come on. Everything changed for me when this girl who I had been trying to date took me along to a church that was running Alpha. And I thought it was like a Christian brainwashing course, and I definitely wasn't going to attend. However, they did sticky toffee pudding, which is like a really awesome sweet dessert in Scotland. And I love it, so I had to go and get some. One of those nights, I had a really powerful encounter with the Holy Spirit, and that set my life in a trajectory that I would just never have believed. I ended up marrying the girl, having a family, I became an ordained minister, I even met the Pope. There was one time I was in a grocery store and we were buying our groceries. We hadn't been married very long and we didn't have very much money. And I really felt like God was saying that I was supposed to pay for the woman behind me. And that seemed weird because she looked as though she could pay for my groceries. I was looking at the cashier who was looking at me, and it was this awkward moment. And I think he thought I was going to rob her. I think she thought I was going to do something crazy. But I just turned around and said, I'm a Christian. I really feel like God's told me to pay for your groceries. I'd love to do that. And she immediately said no. And then I said to her, there's a story of a guy in the Bible called Jonah who God asked to do something and he didn't. And then he got swallowed by a whale. And I really don't want to be swallowed by a whale, so would you please let me pay for your groceries? And she said, okay. So I paid for our groceries and I walked out the store. I didn't think anything about it. And the woman caught up with me and tapped me on the shoulder. And she said, I had to put some items back because I couldn't afford them. You have no idea how much this meant to me. Now, I've never seen that woman since. I have no idea how her life has turned out. But what I do know is in that moment, I trusted in the Holy Spirit. And I saw the Holy Spirit turn up. I saw God's love on earth in reality for this person. And it's those little moments that just allow us to see what God's love is truly like through the Holy Spirit.
Seeing people make a difference in the world really inspires me. The Holy Spirit empowers us to carry out what God's put on our hearts, tackling issues like racial inequality or corruption or pollution and so much more.
And it can also look like the Holy Spirit giving you the courage to help someone on the street, or inspiring the right words at the right time to comfort someone in their pain.
In all situations, big or small, the Holy Spirit can help us help others, transforming us for the better. And be assured that the Holy Spirit isn't just for special or mature Christians. The Holy Spirit is for you.
And I'm sure that you might have some thoughts or questions. So if you like, take some time to talk to your group about what we've discussed and what might have stood out.